Hello and welcome to Kirti's Learning Factory. Today we are going to learn remainder theorem. तो आज हम लोग remainder theorem सीखेंगे. And very often I have seen people very confused about what this theorem is. So before we get into the theorem, we will pick up an example. Yeah, we will pick up an example and then we will see as to how this theorem came into picture. Yeah. So the example which I am going to pick is very simple. Let me move to the other page. The example which I'm going to pick is this. Imagine there is a number 17 into 23. Okay. And you are to find out the remainder of this expression when you divide it by 12. What is going to be the remainder? That is the question. What will be the remainder? What is the approach to a problem like this? Okay. One approach, let's say, approach one will be is that I multiply 17 into 23. Okay, let's do that. 17 3s are 51. You have 5 in your hand. Then 17 2s are 34 and 5 39. So 391 is the product. And then we divide it by 12. Let's divide it. 12 3s are 36. Okay. And then 12 2s are 24. And then we have 7. Right? So 7 is the remainder. How much is the remainder? We know that the remainder for all of us, it's not a secret anymore. Okay, so the remainder right now is 7. Now let's take another approach. Okay, let's take another approach and I will explain that approach to you. It's 17 into 23. We are dividing it by 12. Okay, and we are trying to find the remainder. Now when we break it down, see, understand, when we break it down, can we write 17 as 12 plus 5? Why I've broken it down as 12 plus 5 is because we are dividing by 12. So we are just wanting to see if 17 were to be only divided by 12, what would be the remainder? So we can write it as 12 plus 5. 23, we can break it down as 12 plus 11. Okay. So this expression 17 into 23, can we not write it as 12 plus 5 into 12 plus 11? And then we divide it by 12. Yeah. Now, when you look at it, you will realize that when this expression is divided by 12, say if we are to separate, look at these two parts separately. Okay. So we already know that the remainder is 7 in this case. Yeah. Now, the 17 part, what is the remainder? The remainder is 5. Okay. And then this 23 part, the remainder is 11. When we take a multiplication of these two, it will be 55. And when you divide it by 12, the remainder which you will get is 7. So empirically, obviously, it's very clear that if we know the remainders of the individual parts, okay, we can simply multiply the remainders of the individual parts. And then whatever we get will be the remainder. So we get 55. So 55 can't be the remainder because the remainder has to be less than the divisor. So we do a division again and we come to an understanding that the remainder actually is 7. Now think of it that why is it happening in this fashion? What is the reason that this is happening like this? And I will tell you what is the reason. If you remember, how had we broken it down? 12 plus 5 into 12 plus. So we have written it down as 12 plus 5 into 12 plus 11. Now let's expand it. Okay, let's expand this. What we will get? We will get 12 into 12. That's the first term. Yeah. So the first term is we will get 12 into 12. Yeah. Then the second term is that we will get 12 into 11. So we get 12 into 11. The third term is we will get 5 into 12. Okay, we will get 5 into 12. And then the fourth term is that we will get 5 into 11. We will get 5 into 11. That is the expansion of this expression, right? Now we divide this by 12. Now here in this case, we know that because there is a plus sign, we know that for all the individual parts, whatever is the remainder, if we simply add the remainder, that will be the final remainder. So let's do it in that way. 12 into 12 by 12. 12 into 11 by 12. 5 into 12 by 12 plus 5 into 11 by 12. Now, if you look at it, all these parts, all these parts, this part, the remainder is 0. This part, again, the remainder is 0. This part, again, the remainder is 0. Only this part, the remainder, there will be some remainder. And what exactly is this part? This part is basically the individual remainders when we had broken down 17 and 23, which is why in the previous we said that if we simply multiply the remainders, of these two things when divided by 12, 17 and 23 and take the product, that divided by 12 will give us the remainder. And the reason is this. We have broken it down in that fashion. We have expanded it. And then we realize that all the other parts are basically getting divided by 12. Only these product of these two remainders, that is the part where we will have to go and find the remainder. And hence we can arrive that if there is an expression which is A into B into C into dot 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 into say whatever number, okay, say I will say alphabet N, right? And you divide it by M, okay? In that scenario, the remainder of this expression is nothing but A by M remainder into B by M remainder, okay, into dot 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 into AN by M remainder. So whatever is the individual remainders, when divided by M, we can pick it up, multiply, get the final remainder. That will be the remainder that we need to take care of. So that's how the remainder theorem has come into its being. And that's the fundamental premise, that's a fundamental way to understand remainder theorem. When we move forward, I will do more and more videos on remainder theorem, in which we will take different type of cases. We will take questions, we will use power cycles, etc., to find the remainder. Those are all applications, but the fundamental concept is this, right? And in order for you to understand this fundamental concept, we had broken down, remainder theorem using this example. For you to understand that why are we taking the product of remainders of individual numbers and then dividing it again, by the number. So this illustration was for you so that you can understand. For now, just internalize this concept. When we come back in the next video, then I will tell you with a couple of examples as to how can we then start applying this concept into questions. Once again, thank you for walking into the channel and watching the video if you have. And if you think that it is of any advantage to anybody, then please share it with, even if you share it with one student, I think the purpose of the channel is met. Thank you so much for